Dad, what are you doing?
Okay, everybody, guess what came in? Alright, so got this off of Amazon. It was the cheapest thing they had, made by VEVOR or VEVOR. Um, here is, what's my camera doing? Here is the model number. Also, I'll put a link in the description. And this is what it comes with: a couple straps, some mounting hardware here, this little bracket, I guess, that goes on the top. Here's your block. I think that's what it's called, block. Instructions, and here is the unit itself. I like the switch. I should have unwrapped it, but I like that it's got a push button emergency switch, and you got to turn it to shut it off. I used to have to deal with these at work, but that way I can keep it pushed in, and nobody can come in here and push these buttons and it start working. And then this here is the rollers. I already showed you up in the track, and it comes with some caps for the end of the rail and some bigger washers, and comes with instructions. So these are actually made, it looks like, for this unit, looking at the instructions here. So let's get to putting these rollers on and go from there. Okay, so they give you this hardware, and I see an issue already. The thickness of this bracket. Let's see if I can show you on the camera here. See the thickness of this bracket opposed to this one. There's a pretty good size difference, and these bolts look like they only fit this bracket. So now I could be like worrying myself too much, but that's just kind of how I am. And they give you these bigger washers to fit inside here that will fit this better. However, that only leaves that much sticking up. I don't like that at all. Yeah, so let me see what I can dig up here and go from there, and I'll get back with you here in a second. Also, they paint these holes, so yeah, you're gonna have to chase that through. I'm just going to use one of these bolts because I think I'm going to try to dig around and find longer bolts, because I don't like that it's only going to catch that many threads. Let me see what I can figure out here. Okay, I am back, and let me tell you the hell I just went through. So if you hear dogs, that's my neighbor's dogs moaning in the background. Nobody's hurt. So anyway, these bolts, right? I don't like how short they are, so I found longer ones. Good deal, right? No big deal on that. However, they painted these holes, they painted these threads, and I don't have a metric tap for these threads. These are M8 1.25s. So I found some M8 1.25s, but I had to use this guy on these holes to knock some of the paint out of there. And then what I did was I used their bolt that I'm not going to use as a chaser to knock the rest of the paint off the threads. So with that out of the way, let's get these bolted on here. Now I'm going to use supplied washers. They give you these lock washers that, man, they don't look very lock washery. So throw this on here. And I think just for my own peace of mind, I'm going to put a little thread locker on the end of this. This is the medium strength thread locker, so it's not terrible. Which I don't plan on, well, I say I don't plan on taking this off. Now that I think of it, maybe I shouldn't use this stuff. We get paper towel. Just gonna wipe some of this off. Not gonna get it all out of the threads, but hopefully the lock washers work. And then I'm just gonna use these. Now these are a Phillips head. I know it's not the best thing, but that's all I had. I'm gonna try to center it because you can move it left and right. And then these are number 3 Phillips head screws, so it's probably the one bit that you still have left in your pack when you bought bits. Hardly ever gets used, number 3, but in this case it's going to get used. So I'm using my M18, give it a little more torque, hoping this doesn't round off. Got it mostly centered. Let me just double check this centering here. Okay. Okay, pretty happy with that. So let's go to the next ones here. Now that I think about it, I am not going to use thread locker because this is an $80 unit. Oh, what am I doing? This is an $80 unit, and I don't know, really, I tell you what, it really smelled like Harbor Freight when I opened up the box. So I'm not sure if everybody, if there's one factory that makes all of this stuff over there or what. And I'm missing a washer. Missing a washer. Now my dog's barking. This microphone has noise canceling on it, but I don't know how good that works. So we're going to find out. Alright, let's nail these things. Looks pretty. Okay, here's our rollers. For some reason this one doesn't look straight. Oh, and that's not coming out. Well, hopefully this works. I'll put you up here and let's see what happens. Alright, here is the moment of truth. And just to be honest, I already see an issue with this. Oh, let's not fall off the ladder. Whew. Alright, we got it. And it rolls. The issue I was talking about is the actual power cord is not very long. So for me to be able to use this on this length of rail, a modification will have to be done that will not be done on camera. But let's just see if it works, okay? I'm gonna bring you guys down here. Actually, I'm gonna stop the video real quick. All right, everybody, the moment you've been waiting for. I'm gonna do this live here. So I got a table here and I've got it set up. I did do the double pulley method. I'm not sure what it's called, but let me show you real quick. So this is what I'm talking about. The single hook up here will give you 220 pounds lifting pounds, and with it doubled like this, because you're multiplying the force, you can do 440 according to the instructions. This is just a simple pressure washer. I've actually lifted this by hand, but this is the whole reason I'm trying to do this, is to stop doing this by hand and save my back. All right, so I'm going to set you back here. Hopefully this thing will pick this up. All right, so let's see. Here we go. What do you think? That's not too bad for 80 bucks. Let me spin you around. For 80 bucks, hopefully this light isn't killing you. Let me shut this light off. So there it is. Here's the setup. Here's the pressure washer, and I actually used the strap that one of the straps they supplied, which ran around the pressure washer very well. So yeah, this is gonna save my back. Thank you for sticking all the way through. And things I like so far, I like that it has a cutoff if the cable gets up too high and you're not paying attention. I like that it has a corded dead man switch, because I heard that the remote control ones aren't very good. I like that it has this cutoff switch, so nobody can come in here and just start playing with it unless they know how to reset it. Things I don't like were that they painted the holes. That was annoying. Also, the trolley system, they give you bigger washers, but they don't give you longer bolts. Would those original bolts work? Maybe. I wasn't going to take the chance of only having 2 or 3 threads hold this thing up. So that, you know, hey, to each his own. Another thing that I don't like, and let me flip you around here, is you would think you would hold this with the cord down. But you don't. You have to hold it this way, which I guess makes sense if this thing's really high up in a shop. You would want the cord going up towards the motor. So that's just me. That's just personal preference. It just feels weird holding it this way when my cord's dangling to the ground. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased, and we will end it here. Hey everybody, I just wanted to thank you for sticking through to the end of this little series here. I was hoping that it was not going to take 3 parts to do this, but trying to figure it out in a short amount of time, and then also running into some of the issues I ran into. I want to thank, I believe his name was Steven, for hitting me up in the comment section and kind of giving me a little nomenclature class on what some of these things were called. I'm not a construction guy, as I said, and so I'm just kind of learning as I go here. And so yeah, thank you, Stephen. And also he mentioned that putting the 2x6s in, I actually strengthened my roof line, so that's kind of cool too. So I wanted to touch on the cost. I put the links in the description, but just a quick go over here with that. Without the wood and without the lag bolts and without the tacks, it was $249.66. So buying the wood, and then if you have to do that, and then the lag bolts plus the tax, you're looking at $300 to do this project. But there's no cost you can put on saving your back. I injured my back probably about 7 years ago, and it just has never ended. It's almost like once you injure your back, you're just chasing different parts of your back that then they fix one part and then they have to fix a different part later on. And so guys, just be careful with your backs. I used to think I was Superman, and now I realize I'm not. So as for what my videos are going to consist of, I do have the chicken coop grand finale, and then also I'm going to video what the surgery is going to be like. Obviously, I can't take the camera inside the surgery center and all that, but beforehand, after, and then some of the recovery. As in for working in the shop, I'm not sure what that's going to bring. I talked to somebody who had the surgery, and they said that, yeah, for a month you're not allowed to twist or bend at the waist, and you can't pick more than 20 pounds up. So that's going to limit me on what I can do. And I guess total, it's like a 3-month recovery. So yeah, my videos are probably going to be some dad talks, and I do want to, if you can see in the background, I do want to touch on the cafe that I built in our dining room. It's a replica of a cafe in England, and I'll touch on that more when I do the video. I should be able to do that video without hurting myself. And so yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for subscribing. I mean, this is crazy. I do want to do a video about, after 20 videos, what's it like doing YouTube as a 53-year-old. And so I'm going to probably do that video. So that one might surprise you. Just learning all of the editing. So yeah, there's going to be a lot going on, and yeah, I'm going to just try to do what I can do with this video stuff for the next month or so, and then hopefully I'll heal up good and I'll be back in the shop. I got to put motor mounts in my car. I've got a pressure washer that you saw in that video that I need to go through, that was given to me. I got a push mower that I need to go through. I need to do maintenance on my lawnmower. Yeah, so there's plenty of videos coming. So just hang in there with me if you don't mind, and I'll talk to you guys later. And the next video ought to be the chicken coop grand finale. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. And but thanks again for sticking with me. You guys are really cool. Take care of yourselves.
Yeah.